Welcome to Beauty in Stories. This is a space where short, meaningful tales invite us to explore life's deep lessons and the beauty of emotions. Each story becomes a journey to listen, reflect, and rediscover values that are often overlooked in the busyness of life. Join us as we uncover inspiration, joy, and connection in these stories every day. And now, let's dive into today's story, A Wish for Enough. I never thought I'd spend so much of my life at airports. They're places that both fascinate me and wear me out. I love airports because they're crossroads of strangers, the site of endless meetings and farewells, where distant dreams and present reality collide. But it's for that very reason that each step I take into an airport seems to weigh on me. Every farewell I witness leaves a lingering, indescribable feeling within me. There are days I come to the airport not to travel anywhere, but just to observe life as it unfolds. To remind myself of how lucky I am not to have to say goodbye to the ones I love. I stand there quietly, watching people hold on to each other, gripping each other's hands before slowly letting go, as though trying to hold on to that last moment. The glances, the tears, the bittersweet smiles, the hurried words of advice, all of them are full of emotion and words left unsaid. Once, I saw something that has stayed with me ever since. That day, while wandering through the bustling airport, I happened to see a father and daughter standing by the boarding gate. The father was elderly, his hair graying, his face kind yet showing clear signs of weariness and sadness. He held his daughter tightly, as though afraid that if he let go, he'd never have the chance to hold her again. As she gently pulled back, I heard him say in a choked voice,
"I love you. I wish you enough."
The daughter hugged him tightly once more and replied,
"I love you too. And I wish you enough."
Then, she turned and walked away, while the father stood there in silence, watching her until her figure gradually disappeared from sight. In his eyes, I saw regret and a profound sadness. The scene tugged at my heart, and I wondered about the story behind their farewell. Drawn to the moment, I moved closer to him but hesitated, not wanting to intrude on his private sorrow. Suddenly, he turned to me, smiled sadly, and asked,
"Have you ever said goodbye to someone knowing it would be the last time you'd ever see them?"
The question stunned me, and I was silent for a moment. Finally, I asked softly, "Did you just say goodbye to your daughter? Why did you say a final farewell?" The elderly man gave a faint, wistful smile, his eyes distant as he replied,
"I'm old now, and my daughter lives on the other side of the world. Truthfully, I know that by the time she returns, I may no longer be here. I've told myself I must accept this truth, but parting like this still weighs heavy on my heart."
His words brought a lump to my throat, remembering his earlier words. "I wish you enough." I couldn't help but ask, "When you said goodbye, I heard you say, 'I wish you enough.' Could you tell me what that means?" He nodded gently, his eyes softening as he seemed to look back to a distant past.
"That's a blessing that's been passed down through generations in my family. From my grandparents, to my parents, and now to me. We've always wished our loved ones enough of everything in life. Not too much, not too little, just enough to truly feel fulfilled. When I say, 'I wish you enough,' I'm hoping my daughter has enough light, enough joy, and even enough challenges to keep her life balanced and happy."
He sighed softly. His gaze distant as though recalling each word from his memory. And then he began to speak. His voice filled with warmth and tenderness.
I wish you enough sun to keep your spirit bright. I wish you enough happiness to keep your soul alive. I wish you enough pain to help you appreciate even the smallest joy. I wish you enough gain to satisfy your needs. I wish you enough loss to appreciate what you have. And I wish you enough hellos to get through the final goodbye.
Every word sank deeply into my heart like warm drops of rain. Gentle yet profound. This blessing, enough, was more than just a wish, it was a message full of love. A reminder that a truly fulfilled life isn't about having everything but about having just enough to cherish every moment. When he finished, a single tear traced down his cheek. He smiled faintly but peacefully. And then he turned to leave, leaving me standing there, emotions swirling within me. In that moment, I called after him, "Sir, I wish you enough." He looked back, nodding at me with an expression of quiet peace, as though a burden had been lifted. I stood there, watching as his figure disappeared into the crowd. A mixture of feelings settling over me. His blessing, enough, was something I would never forget. It wasn't just a blessing for his daughter, but also a reminder for me, sometimes. The true value of life lies in the simple things. The enough that makes every day worth living. Since then, whenever I face challenges or difficulties in life, I remember that father's story and his blessing of enough. I remind myself to cherish each moment with my loved ones, knowing that every second with them is priceless. And perhaps the most important thing isn't to try to hold on to everything but to know what is enough. To treasure each passing moment. And so, to all of you who are watching now, from the depths of my heart, I also want to extend this wish to you. I wish us all enough. Thank you for joining Beauty in Stories for today's tale. I hope these moments have brought you meaningful insights and inspiration. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you won't miss any upcoming stories. See you in the next one.
Goodbye!